Welcome to Moessieurs for this new video. Today, we're going to talk about how to load a sample into your MODX M or Montage M and play it for its entire duration. It's a question I see regularly in the Facebook groups. You'll see, it's not very complicated to do. There are just a few small pitfalls to avoid. I'll walk you through it and explain everything in this video. Just before we start, a quick reminder, if you like the video content, please click on the thumbs up, it means a lot to me. Thanks also for clicking the boost button, it helps to highlight this video in YouTube recommendations. That's really important for a small channel like Moessieurs. First of all, what kind of samples can you load? We're using a live performance synthesizer here. After all, for playing in front of an audience. In the MODX M and Montage M, we have excellent sound quality. We're not going to use MP3, note they aren't supported anyway. We'll use WAV files, 16 bits, 44.1 kHz, stereo. If you have samples like that, you can be sure they'll work without any issues. It's the CD quality format. Can you assign a sample to any button to trigger it? No, that's not possible. It doesn't work on that way on the M series. You need to assign your sample to one of the keyboard note. Which note should you choose? On this killer dance performance, I play around here. I'd have placed to assign the sample either here or there. My advice is to assign it one of the extreme notes, depending on the keyboard size. It'll be much easier to remember if you have the space and you don't play, for example, the C here, which is the C1. It'll be much better to assign it there and try as much as possible on all your performances to assign it to the same note so you don't have to remember, on this performance it's here, on the other one it's over there. It's definitely much simpler in that way. Of course, for sample using, you'll use the AWM2, which is the sample playback engine. If you try it on a standard part, something like this one, you'll have to hold your finger down for the sample entire duration. If, like me, you have a nice intro, with a time duration close to 20 to 25 seconds, that's going to be a bit long. You might also have other little things to do with the other hand. That's why you're going to assign it to something other than a standard part. You need to use a drum kit. Why? I'll explain and show you all of this right after. There's some dedicated features that lets us play the sample in its entirety, with few small adjustments to done. Adding a drum kit in a performance is very simple. Press Shift and press Song Pattern at the same time. That's the red line at the bottom, it's the rhythm pattern. Just pick the first drum kit that comes up, it doesn't matter. You don't want to play a drum kit. What you want is to be able to add and play a sample. I'll remind you that on that screen, you press Exit to leave, which seems pretty logical here. At the same time it adds the drum kit. It's not Enter for this one. And now you have a drum kit added to your performance. But there are the arpeggios playing, and if you turn off the arpeggios, what happens? You can't hear the drums anymore. Sometimes you want to turn the arpeggios on or off while playing with them, and you don't want to hear the bass drums, snare, cymbals, and percussion sounding while you're playing your melody or chords. But in that example, that won't work for you, because you need to play the samples assigned to this drum kit. How are you going to handle that? That's the first little pitfall to avoid. Click on Navigation here, be sure to be on your drum kit part. Here on part 5. Let's go to the arpeggios. It brings you to the individual page, then go to the common page, and here you'll find the ARP play only setting. Let's disable it. This will let you hear the drum kit at all times, even when the arpeggio master is set to off, you don't need here. Now, no matter what note you play, you hear the drum kit, so you'll have to split the keyboard to isolate the drum kit. Since I'm playing the lowest note here with my left hand, it's right here, I have some notes over there I can use for the samples. Let's use the split function. So, you might think, for one sample to trigger, just split on the last C. I'm going to show you something. We're going to keep the C sharp that's here. Here, I only need to make a single split since I need one note range for the sample and the other range with all my sounds. I'm going to play D1 note. A is still the bottom range, that's our drum kit. It's here, and for all my other parts in this example, I set up the B range here. You see, it goes pretty fast. That's the advantage of this new feature. And now my drum kit is only here, you'll only hear it. And on the rest, I have the other sounds. That's the first thing to done, made a split by choosing the good note range. Now you'll need to load the sample to the drum kit part. Let's go back to navigation on the part 5, which is the drum kit, press on oscillator. What I recommend is to simply use the keyboard select like this. You're going to press on the note you want to assign your sample. And now press on New Waveform slot. It opens directly the USB drive load wave file screen, where I have my intro sample, called FX Intro Wave, which I'm going to load. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell to be notified when I release a new video. You can also request an online masterclass with me by Zoom. It's not only explaining things point by point, telling only you what this function is for. What I'm offering is truly support for your musical project, whether it's for getting started or exploring the Montage M or the MODX M synthesizer. Whether you want to delve deeper into areas where you lack knowledge or if you have some gaps in your understanding, my goal is to guide you and help you to reach your desired level based on your current knowledge, improving it. We can also work with your stage setup. Just send me your backup file and we can work on your performance examples. This isn't a training course where it's mandatory to follow a program from the beginning to the end. You choose your session topic, and at the end, I send you the session video recording to let you watch it as many times as you need. Do not hesitate, contact me now, you'll find all the information in the video description. Now that you have a sample associated with the note, let's press to the waveform edit slot. As you can see, I have FX Intro Wave sample. If you had loaded samples to create as example a synth sound, there's one setting that would have been very important, that's the center note. For a sample assigned to a drum kit, you don't need it, let's leave it as is. Leave the velocity limits as they are. You're not going to worry about that here too. In that example, if you change the center note to set it to C1 or C5 if you set a height note, it will slow down or speed up the sample playback. That's not what we want. We want it to play naturally. Except that, I know my sample lasts close 25 seconds long. It has also a much bigger impact at its start. There are other settings you'll need to take into account. Let's click Exit. First thing to check, here you're on the drum key element screen, it's right at the top. Let's make sure you don't have the sample filtered. You don't have a filter through setting here, just make sure you haven't the sample filtered with a cutoff setting like that. That can be a problem with a low cutoff value. So that's the first thing to check. On the level pan screen, the first thing to do to make the sample play for its full duration is to go to Decay 2. You see the slope, it's your sound life on time. Here after a certain amount of time, the sample drop off, a fairly quick drop. Let's turn the knob all the way up to set it to hold. That means it'll play for its full duration. This setting is only available on drum key, not on classic element parts. While we're at it, for Decay 1, set it right here with the level maxed out. There you go, now you really have the complete sample playback. If you want to adjust it to get an optimal level, go all the way here. And you don't need velocity control. You're not interested in that. What you want for your sample is to play exactly as it is. Velocity, boom, set it here to 0. Its duration is close to 25 seconds. I don't need to keep my finger on it. I can trigger it however I want. If you really messed up your sample's level setting during your sampling, and the level at maximum is not enough, you can boost it in the EQ screen. You have a boost of 6 dB, boost of 12 dB, or boost of 18 dB at maximum. Just be careful not to go too high. Let's go with a boost of 12 dB, and let's go back to the OSC tune screen. I'm going to explain two important drum key settings to wrap up this video. With a drum kit, when you play a crash cymbal and release the note, you want the crash cymbal to keep going. And that's the feature we have by default on drum kits. If, for example, I enable Receive Note Off, that means the MODX M receives the note off data and applies it, so it will stop the sound. Let me show you. There you go, that's what you have on basic AWM2 instruments, the other parts that make up my performance. With a drum key, when you release the note off, the sample continues for its entire duration. And yet, depending on what you're doing, you might think, that's fine, but maybe depending on the audience's reaction to certain things, or to certain other types of samples, you'd like to be able to trigger the sample so it plays for its full duration, but you'd also like to be able to stop it. How can you do that? That's why I kept the C# here in the drum kit. Because you have another setting right next to it called the group, only available on drum key. And I'll explain where that comes from. It's designed, for example, for hi-hats, because physically, a hi-hat can't be open and closed at the same time. Both don't physically exist. It can't work on a real hi-hat. You have in the drum kit this type of group management. When two note or samples are in the same group, if you play the other note, it'll cut off for all the drum keys that are in the same group. So here, I did that for my sample. If I play the note next to it, it don't stop the sample. Let's set it on the group 1. Now that means that the rim shot will stop the sample from playing. But you hear the rim shot, and you don't want that. The filter can stay as is. Go to the level pan screen. Set the rim shot level to 0. And now, mission accomplished. You can play your sample, it'll run for its full duration, and you can stop it when needed. If need, go to the drum part insertion effects and set them to off. Be sure also that the send for reverb and variation effect is set to 0. Let me summarize what we've covered in this video. What kind of samples you can load? Where do you place them on the keyboard? How do you load them? What are the important settings? How do you start playback and make it play all along its time duration? How to stop it? It works exactly in the same way for all the samples you're going to assign to a drum kit, whether at the keyboard top or bottom. That's video ending. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found the content interesting. Feel free to click on like, and I also invite you to click on the boost button to highlight this video in YouTube suggestions. As official Yamaha expert and specialist, if you want to learn more quickly how to use or take in hand your Montage M, MODX M, ESP, Camelot Pro, or any of the Yamaha synthesizers and stage keyboards that I use, or also Cubase MIDI and audio recording with them, you can request an online masterclass with me. You choose your session topic, and you can download your session video to watch it as many times as you need. If you are a Moessieurs YouTube community member, you will get 15 minutes extra time for each session. How to become a member? Just sign up on YouTube. It's a monthly subscription of €3, and you'll get more than just the 15 minutes extra time. You'll get to see all my videos in preview, without ads, almost 1 month in advance, as well as my private videos without ads too. Don't hesitate to join the Moessieurs YouTube community. See you soon for a new Moessieurs video.